Welcome to Gwent NGage Bitesize Learning, an introduction to volatile substances. Volatile substance use is defined as the deliberate inhalation of solvents and gases for the purpose of intoxication or getting high. Over 2,000 illicit products can be inhaled. However, some products are more commonly inhaled than others, and we're going to have a look at them in a bit. With there being so many products, it's a massive challenge when trying to keep on top of this. Some are industrial, which would only be available in specific professions, but there are many that are available to purchase. The number of young people in treatment for solvent use has increased significantly, from 329 in 2021-2022 to 629 in 2022-2023. Let's have a closer look at the categories. Firstly, volatile solvents. Petrol. During the summer months, we may see an increase in people inhaling petrol due to increased use of vehicles such as motorbikes, quad bikes, and petrol-operated garden machinery. Industrial glue. Toluene is used as a solvent in many products, including glues, paints, lacquers, varnishes, rubber cement, and airplane glue. Toluene levels are higher in industrial products like no nails, normally accessed in hardware stores like B&Q. Nail polish remover. Acetone. It's in all of our nail varnish removers. Because of the rising popularity of acrylic nails, instead of having to go back to the nail technician to remove them, manufacturers are now producing larger containers described as jerry cans of acetone to keep at home. These can be easily purchased on sites such as eBay and Amazon. Paint stripper. If you can't clean your brush off under the tap, then the paint is likely to be solvent-based. So you need removers such as white spirits, turpentine, and nitromors, which is incredibly toxic. Dry cleaning fluids. Dry cleaning is a process used to clean clothes and textiles using chemical solvents instead of water. Individuals who work in dry cleaning establishments, such as dry cleaners, are at the highest risk of inhaling these products, and this is where problematic use can occur. Tipp-Ex. In the UK, they have removed trichloroethane, which was used as a thinner, and now all products like Tipp-Ex in the UK should be water-based. However, in Europe, they still use trichloroethane. Resolve, the UK-based charity, have worked in partnership with manufacturers raising awareness in the UK, hence why they have removed the solvent base within Tipp-Ex. However, Europe don't have the same initiatives, so that is why their products aren't water-based. Aerosols. Aerosols are propelled by butane gas. So, for example, you have the hairspray chemical, and the butane gas is what propels it to come out of the canister. When someone is inhaling an aerosol, they are accessing the butane gas, not the chemical. Examples of other aerosols are products such as deodorants, furniture polish, and fly spray, etc. Lighter gas. When you fill a lighter up, for example, you turn the canister upside down. The reason being, as gas, you can't see it, but when you turn it upside down, it creates a temperature shift and changes it into liquid gas. So basically, that's the reason you can see it when it's filling up. People will inhale it as a gas. Users also might have erosion of the two front teeth. In terms of method of inhalation for gases, there's 3 specific ways this can happen. Direct inhalation. The users can place their mouth over the opening of the lighter fluid container and inhale deeply, drawing the vapours directly into their lungs. Secondly, they can soak it in cloth. The user may hold a cloth soaked in lighter fluid, close to their nose and mouth, inhaling the fumes that evaporate from the cloth, or bags or balloons. Some users inhale by placing lighter fluid in a bag or balloon, then breathing in the concentrated vapors. The method of inhalation for aerosols, however, is different. Aerosols are different from gas because they have two ingredients, the butane gas and the chemical. So this might be the deodorant, polish, hairspray, etc. The chemical will have a very distinctive taste. The user doesn't want this, they want the gas, so they have to split the two. The chemical, which is represented by the blue part in diagram 1, is at the bottom because it weighs more than the gas. When you press on the nozzle upright, a mechanism makes the gas press down, and the gas then forces the chemical up the tube, only releasing a tiny amount of gas coming out with each spray. To get the desired effect of the gas, the user has to turn the can upside down, demonstrated in diagram 2. Whereas before the dip tube at the bottom sat in the chemical, it now sits in the gas. So when you press the nozzle, gas will come out instead. When users turn it upside down, they will give it a couple of sprays in the first instance to remove any undesired chemicals in the dip tube. Nitrates. Poppers were originally used to treat angina. There's better medication for angina now, so not used to treat it anymore. Poppers don't have an impact on the brain, so what that means is they don't speed you up, slow you down, or give you hallucinations. What they do is help pump blood around your system. If someone takes drugs like ecstasy, cocaine, or alcohol, there is a time delay for when the drug starts to take effect. However, if you sniff poppers, because it helps the heart pump blood around the system, it speeds up that process, so gets other drugs to the brain a lot faster. And this is the one reason why you might see people use poppers passed around the club to enhance the effects. Poppers are also linked to sexual intercourse because they are a muscle relaxant. This can make people feel relaxed, enhancing low-level excitement. As the odour is released into the room, this in turn can create the relaxing atmosphere for sex. Poppers are toxic when drunk. A shot can burn you from the inside out and can disintegrate your organs. You would have to go to A&E immediately. Poppers and Viagra are really dangerous because the one rushes blood to the brain and the other in the opposite direction, which can make your blood pressure dangerously low. You add cocaine to the mix and it can cause heart attack. Poppers can also cause blurred vision because of a chemical in them called isopropyl nitrate. In some cases, users have reported to have lost their sight completely. This is a relatively new condition called popper maculopathy. Bolton University are doing some research into this. Some report vision is restored, some have permanent blurred vision. These can be some of the methods of inhalation. So it could be sprayed directly into the mouth, sprayed through a cloth, inhaled from a bag, inhaled straight from the container, material dipped in the solvent then held over the nose and mouth, enclosed space, bag overhead, and inhaled from a balloon mask. The biggest danger from inhaling these products is sudden sniffing death syndrome. And we're going to have a look at the 4 direct ways that it can kill, starting with cardiac arrhythmia. Most deaths from solvent use are caused by sudden sniffing death syndrome. Inhaling these gases and solvents causes the heart to beat irregularly. The heart can then fail if the person experiences a sudden rush of adrenaline. For example, if they're excited, frightened, fighting, arguing, or engaging in physical activity. Unless a defibrillator is available, death can result within minutes. Anoxia, hypoxia, is depriving the brain of oxygen. In terms of vagal inhibition, the myth is that because gas is freezing when it hits the back of the throat, it freezes the back of your throat and lungs, which actually causes the death. But that technically isn't what happens. When somebody takes lighter fuel, as mentioned before, when you tip it upside down, it creates a temperature shift and changes it into liquid gas. If taken upright, it releases just the gas. When it shifts to liquid gas, it comes out really quickly and incredibly cold. When that stream hits the back of the throat, it makes the larynx spasm. That spasm makes the vagal nerve think that everything is beating too fast. The vagal is a control system. It helps the brain to control the heartbeat and helps you to keep your blood pressure low. When the larynx starts to spasm, the vagal nerve thinks that everything is beating too fast, so it sends a signal to the brain that we have to slow the heart down, and in doing so, the heart stops because the heart actually wasn't beating fast in the first place. It confuses the vagal nerve into thinking everything is beating too fast. Respiratory central depression. When you mix depressants, you're at risk of putting the brain to sleep, so mixing alcohol and solvents is really dangerous. Here are some other risks and dangers. So we've got our sudden sniffing death syndrome, suffocation from plastic bags, explosions, harm to lips and skin from direct contact with solvents, frostbite or freeze burns to the lips from direct valve inhalation, central nervous system depression to unconsciousness. When inhaled, these substances quickly enter the bloodstream and affect the central nervous system, which includes the brain and the spinal cord. The central nervous system depression is a condition characterized by the decrease in the normal level of consciousness, impaired cognitive function, and reduced physical activity. This occurs when volatile substances interact with the central nervous system and suppress its normal functioning. Also at risk is falls, criminality from aggressive effects, accidents via hallucinogenic effects, and choking on vomit while unconscious. These are some of the possible signs of use to look out for. You might see empty cans, lid from cans, aerosols with nozzles removed, cans in unexpected places, filter marks on towels, products going missing or running out quickly, chemical smell on the breath or in the environment, changes in sleeping and eating patterns, withdrawn and isolated mood swings, irritability, a wheezy cough, spots, sores or red puffy eyes, that grey look, headaches, sickness, drunken behaviour. Let's end this bite-sized learning on some harm reduction. Due to the high-risk nature of volatile substance use, it can never be carried out safely. For some people, no advice is likely to encourage them to stop their use immediately. It may be appropriate in special and individual circumstances to give information that helps the user avoid the worst consequences. For example, if the user is working towards intermediate goals before they stop using altogether. Exceptional hazards to avoid are using products alone and in confined spaces, using plastic bags or masks, tilting a can of lighter gas and spraying the contents directly into the mouth and throat, having lighters and flames, etc. in the vicinity, intoxication in dangerous places, mixing volatile substances with depressant substances, mixing volatile substances with prescription medication such as sedatives. Remember, you cannot dose safely. It does not matter about age, weight, gender, etc. If you would like some more information about the range of services we offer within Gwent NGage, or more information about the training packages we can deliver, you can either ring us on 0333 320 2751 or email us at gwentengage@barod.cymru.